started. But here we are. Looking to see if I can switch cameras in the middle of the live or not. Looks like I'm set on just one camera, which is fine. We can do this. I apologize for being a little bit late getting started. We have a lot of pretty exciting stuff right now, and I needed to get in there and help a couple people on the Virtual Quilt Show. And looks like I've got about 15 people with me. I wish I could switch from one camera to the other. Oh, hey Norman, how you doing? How are things going there on the farm in Oregon? All right. How's everybody liking these Facebook Lives that we're doing? A lot of fun. So I've got the camera kind of set up facing my computer monitor, and I hope it's clear enough you guys can see. What I wanted to do today was share something that we've been heavily involved with here at Gamble, which is the Virtual Quilt Show, which is something that's happening online. So the Virtual Quilt Show is a website, and because all the regular quilt shows that everybody would have been involved in this spring have all been canceled, we are the main sponsor of this Virtual Quilt Show. And so if you haven't been involved with it, it may be going on and you're completely unaware of what's happening. So I thought what I would do with my Facebook Live today is just kind of let people know what we have going on here. We have, it's unbelievable. I don't know where to start, but where I'll start is, I've got a dip here. I've got Firefox here. I think I'll start here. So the home of the Virtual Quilt Show page right here, and the address is virtualquiltshow.com. And across the top, there's a menu that you can choose from. But basically, there's three parts to this quilt show. There's the gallery of quilts. There's the vendor mall where you can do your shopping. And then there's classes. And let me give you a little idea of what's each one of these. I'm going to start with the vendor mall. So the live hours of today's vendor mall, it actually just started I'm in Central Time Zone as well, so it just started here at 3 o'clock. But wherever you are in the world, it's live for 4 more hours today. So I'm going to click there and kind of show you what. So we'll go into this part of the show, and it's going to load here, and all of the different vendors and sponsors here, and you can come in and talk with them in a video, just like you would visit a regular show and just stop in and say hi and talk to them about their different things. I've got the Gamble booth here. We have a booth from Martelli. We have Hobbs Batting and the Red Thread Studio. Has 2 booths, one for their cute quilting machines and the other regular domestic sewing machines. We've got the Meadow Line Designs, and they do I was really interested in their panic quilting designs, some really nice stuff there. Sally's Emporium, all kinds of nifty things. Gina Persons, American Patchwork and Quilting. I was looking, and there's you can buy magazines there. Caterpillar, Lux. Then we've got the Stitch Digital and Paper Designs. Counted. Anyway, so the design, the vendors go on and on Smart Quilts by Tina Curran, Emmanuel Quilt Ministry, Quick, which I hadn't seen their products before, and I thought they were pretty neat. A Plus, Yazzie Craft Bags and Organizers, and before the show's over, I'm going to order some of these craft bags. They're pretty neat. Off the Wall Quilts and Professional Quilt Clamps. All of these vendors have a store products. So I'm just going to pick one at random and go and you can visit all of these one after another, because there's a forward and back button down at the bottom. So that's usually the easiest, is to just start a gamble booth at the top and work your way through all of them. And so here we have, they've actually got a video for when they're not live. You can watch the little video here about their products, and then they have the different they have and the different items that you can purchase. And right now, up here in the top right corner, I actually don't have anything in my shopping cart. But just like a regular quilt show, you don't want to go home empty-handed. So I can look at one of these items and find out more about on it, and I can add it to my shopping if I decide I want to get this. So you can learn more about each item by zoom closer to it, and you can just put it right there in your cart. I'm going to go back right now to the main vendor mall and look for one that has a live booth on right now. I'll do the Bernina long booth probably. Sorry, this is a little bit slow. The computer that's doing the Facebook live streaming is loading the web pages, so we're working it pretty hard. So I'll go ahead and click booth. They're one of the major sponsors of the show as well, and let's wait for that to load up. And you can buy a machine from them and have it delivered to wherever you are. Putting a load on my poor computer. Well, while we wait for that to load, I preloaded a couple of pages because I wondered if this happened. Yep, because the computer's having trouble loading that. I preloaded some pages because I knew it might be a. So here's the quilt, and all the votes have been collected. The judges have voted on the quilts. There's something like 230 quilts here, and they're all sorted into these different categories that they were entered in. And you can just click on the category and go into category, and with each category is a bunch of different quilts, and probably the coolest quilt show you'll ever go, because there's nobody there slapping your hand if you go to touch them. So these are just kind of preview photos of the quilt, and if you if you have one that catches your fancy, like this one I like, I'm just going to click on it, and then I can go in and look at the quilt at a level of detail you've never been able to experience before, except for actually going to the show. So here are 5 photos of the quilt, along with a picture of the quilter who entered it, and whatever information that she'd given us about the quilt. And to look at it closer, you can click on one of these photos here. It loads in a viewer that has a magnifying glass. And I don't know if you can see that, but I can see really, really intensely the stitching and the effects on this quilt. And I can see and I can see everything about it. I'm going to hit my back button here and check another photo out here. Go to the next one. It won't be as slow as this for you because you aren't doing live streaming at the same time. So let's look at maybe that one. All right, just whatever catches my fancy. And there were 3 judges that went through, and well-known judges that you would know their names because they judge shows all over the world, all around the country. And they came through and did the official thing, but then also there's been the Viewer's Choice Award. And so notice how with this magnifying glass, like I see every stitch on this quilt. It is remarkably good at being able to see that quilt. And so I was amazed when I saw this the first time. I thought, wow, this is really the way to do it. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. There's over 200 quilts. The amount of time that you could possibly spend in here looking at quilts is pretty unbelievable. And I just think it's amazing the work that these have gone to. And I think it's neat that we come in and manage that. So there's a voting down here where the judges finish their voting. Then we let the click in, and you can choose how many stars and click it, and then the same on the overall impact and each quilt for once. So that's a little bit about the quilts. Let me show you. Here's oh, you know what? I might have to reload this page, and I am pretty darn sure it's going to let me enter the Gamble booth while on Facebook live stream. That's just not going to happen. Cameras and video and all that stuff going on, but on the page that lets you enter the live booth. And I was there before we started, and there was Corey and Anna from Linda's Electric Quilters were there. I was talking with Andrew Bentley, who's the dealer from just outside Calgary, Alberta. And who was there? I saw the from Utah was there. So anyway, you pop in there and just click right here on this picture, or click on the blue button and get with them. And then the other thing to talk about was the classes. So I'm going to switch over to the classes. You get there by just hitting the class registration. And so there's more than 5 classes to choose from. A lot of classes have become sold out because they're capped at 24. And so we've got classes that are repeating 3-4 times. Everybody can get in there that wants to take those classes. Classes for quilters. We've got piecing. We've got long arm quilting, computerized long arm quilting, freehand. There's some leather quilting. There's sit down quilting and how to piece a quilt top and all that stuff. But amazing teachers. And we've got a teacher gallery where you can actually read about each and every one of these. But if you go to the class registration, there's a couple of ways to browse classes. For example, if you wanted to take a class, there's a way to do it through the index. Or if you have a favorite teacher and you just always like to take her class, there's a way to do that too. So the index of class is where I would start with, and this is where all of the, and of course it could take forever to read through all of them. The easy way to do it is to use the lightning fast search at the top of the page. So what I'm going to do is I'll just use this instant search and type a couple letters, and all of a sudden it has pulled up all the classes relating to feathers. So if I wanted to learn something different, like a computerized quilting is fill, so I type fill. There we go. There's the classes that you want to look at to learn about fill. So that instant search is just incredible. And right here you can see if it's a pre-read class or live, what category it's in, your skill level needs to be, and who the teacher is. And they're all just amazing teachers, the best teachers. So there's another way to classes too, and that is by the subject. So I'll click over to that, and we've got 6 classes. So if you haven't checked this out, you need to do it. So let me go over to the classes by subject, and we've got a few different ways to look at them here. If you want for beginners and confident beginners, click here, and you'll be looking at classes that suit your skill level. Or if you would rather advance, you click there. And then also we have them sorted by subject. So if you've got a computerized quilting machine, you click that one, and all those freehand classes go away and you're just looking at computerized classes. And then probably my favorite way to find the classes is by educator, because a lot of these people I've taken classes from before. So if you go to educator, I'll wait for this to load. So what we have here is we've got 19 teachers, and some of them you'll know just by looking, but just for their picture, and it starts of their bio, okay, and each one of these is a really and so you click on the teacher that you're in, or that you are wanting to find out, and here you can see their a little bit about them, and then all of the classes that they're teaching are going to be. So here's the information about Karen, and then and then all of her different classes are listed right here. Now, some of the teachers also have kits, and so if you are a teacher that has class kits, you can also find those kits. So what happens is after you've purchased, what I've been noticing is that people would come in at the quilt show and they would buy a couple of classes, and then they would come back after their first 3 or 4 more classes, and then the next day they would come back and buy 3 or 4 more. So the experience that people are having is really, really good, and all the teachers that you want to learn from are here. And so after you get the email that you've been enrolled, there's a little bit of time delay while we enrollment process, and then you'll get an email that you log into the class portal. So we've got a link right here, but I've pre before I started the Facebook Live, and so you click right here that you're already registered to the classroom right here. So right here, all of those 70 are laid out, and you can actually get into the classes that you purchased. The 3 are right here up at the top, but if I get to a little bit of shopping and I said, gosh, I really should have signed up for this dimensional thread one, you can always go back with these big green buttons at the top and can purchase a class that you had not already gotten. So I'm preloaded. I've got these 3 here. Let me show you what it's like classes that you buy. So these 3 are all pre-recorded. This has an area for announcements, and you can learn here all the information. And then there's videos that you can watch, a set of 10 videos, and you just click on that you watch. Oops, I clicked it twice. That didn't work very well. Let me click it a couple more times. I think I've confused the computer. All right, so it loads up the video, and you just hit the play button. And videos, I like to go full screen because I have mature eyes. There you go. One of the cool things about these pre-recorded classes is that you can have the entire week of the show. So if you want to pause the video and do an exercise and rewind it because you didn't quite catch what she said, you can do that on these videos, and they're available all the way through Sunday, the end of the show. And then here there's a place where you can post your questions, live Q&A, and the time for that is, and then all the students get to come in at that time and get their questions answered from the teacher. That's one of the classes. Let me show you that my other courses. I've got Blueprint and so each one of them has been set up by the teacher with all the information. So right here, I'll go under the general questions and see that some of the ask questions about some of the parts of these. Let me click on that and get it to open up. Waiting for overloaded internet. This is a place where people can say, hey, I watched on how to do XYZ, but I wasn't sure if I was the fabric right side up or right, and so you can ask those questions. That is a lot better than just like watching a video and what you're supposed to be doing. I'm going to close that because I'm not going to wait on it forever. But inside each one of these, you've got all the information that you need. So I'll open this, and apparently Facebook Live is taking my bandwidth, and it's not going anywhere. I apologize. I thought I'd be able to show you these classes. Anyway, you can lots of stuff in here. So basically what I wanted to do was just encourage you guys to come to the Virtual Quilt Show and say hi, and check out that is available here for you. When it's to check out with your classes and the things that you've bought in your mall, you can just go up here to your shopping. Even if you bought things from a lot of different places, you don't more than once. You actually just put your credit card info in just one time. All those packages start to come to your doorstep with the cool stuff, the Virtual Quilt Show. Well, I'm afraid my computer is totally, but I just thought I would show you this, and I'm going to check out the comments because it hasn't been comments here for the last 10 minutes, and I'll check out the comments, stop the video, and answer any questions you have. Anyway, I hope to see you at the quilt show.